It's the last business day in the week. This is Business Incorporated coming to you live from Lagos. Thank you for joining us. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwago. On the program today, South Africa yet to identify potential equity partner for troubled national airline South Africa Airline. Kenya Safaricom's earnings before interest, tax depreciation and amortization rises about 7% in half year. Plus, growth in Uganda's private sector slows for a third consecutive month in October. We'll get started now with the markets, and here in Africa, Nigeria's stock exchange and the market in South Africa were in the green at intraday, up 0.11% and 0.49% each. Egypt is closed for the weekend, but the index advanced by 0.29%, supported by global telecom and the real estate developer Talta Mustafa, up 4.6% and 3.3% on Thursday. Kenya was down 0.27% on Thursday. And in the Middle Eastern markets, they are also closed today for the weekend. However, markets remained sluggish on Thursday, despite activity in Dubai's Emma Properties after its local property development arm set an indicative price range for its initial public offering. The Dubai Stock Index fell 0.34% as Emma Properties traded higher for much of the day, but dipped into negative territory by the close. Saudi Arabia's index edged up 0.12% as real estate company Dar Al Khan, the most active stock, sank 9.9%. It had risen by 33% since early October. Qatar's index edged down 0.31% in very thin trade as 8 of the 10 most active stocks fell and only one rose. That solitary gainer was property company Edston Holding, adding 1.6%. Abu Dhabi was down 0.45%. While in the U.S. stock index futures, they pointed to a slightly higher open as investors geared up for the week's final batch of corporate earnings while digesting key domestic and data news. The all-important employment report for October has just been released. And of course, with instant reaction is Jill Maladrino, my colleague in New York City. Hello, Jill. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. What are the job numbers saying? Hello, Jill. Oh, we seem to have lost Jill there, but we hope to get back to her as soon as we get through. Now, in Europe, stocks were slightly higher on Friday morning as investors monitored a fresh batch of corporate earnings. Let's now talk to Ulrich Bartz in Frankfurt. Good afternoon, Ulrich. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, Air France, Société Générale, and Repsol are among the major companies reporting today. What's the buzz around Air France and Société Générale in particular?
Yeah, well, all three shares are going down: Air France, KLM, Société Générale, and Repsol. And Société Générale by more than 3%, KLM, Air France by around 6.5%, and Repsol also by about 1%. Repsol reporting that third quarter profits were up by a whopping 88% due to the oil prices, but obviously investors expected more here. Société Générale, the big French bank, being able to settle legal cases in France, but the profit going down by 15% in the quarter, and that disappointed investors. And with Air France, KLM, it's not really to be seen why investors are so disappointed in that third quarter result, because the profit went way up by about 38%, and it's not a small number either. It's about €1 billion, but investors are sneezing at that apparently, and the share is really losing a lot here in European trading.
So tell me, Orich, what are traders and analysts saying about the estimated total damage costs the Catalonia rebellion would be having on the Spanish economy and, of course, the markets?
I think so far the consensus seems to be that it will have an effect on the Spanish economy and also on the markets pertaining to Spanish financial products like shares or the bonds of the Spanish government, especially Catalonian government. But it won't knock the country off its feet, and it won't knock the European Union off its feet. It is being felt in the labor market already. We got numbers on that today, that the labor market, the unemployment went down in Catalonia more, or went up in Catalonia more than it did in the rest of the country and Spain. And of course, people also are seeing that tourism, there's cancellations in hotels and beach resorts, and that will be felt in the Catalonian economy. But for example, when you look at companies that are transferring headquarters out of Catalonia, out of Barcelona to other parts of Spain, yes, affecting Catalonia, but probably aiding the other parts of Spain. So at the moment, people are not fearing that it will bring the country down economically, but it's a dynamic process. Nobody knows what kind of popular reaction there will be to Carles Puigdemont holding out in Brussels, the elections coming up, for example.
All right, looking at the other side of the Atlantic, do you think President Trump's extensive South Asia trip next week will move the markets either on Wall Street or in the Asian region?
It could move all the markets in the whole world, or particular markets, depending on what he says and what comes from perhaps meetings face-to-face with people like Vladimir Putin, perhaps the Russian president, or the Chinese president. It is an important meeting. He'll be seeing many important people. And also statements on the Korean situation could also move markets. Again, they have in the past. It's been quiet on that front, but that sort of issue could also come to the fore. We can't predict ahead of time what will happen, especially as sometimes Donald Trump sticks to the script prepared for him by his White House staff, and sometimes he ad-libs.
Right, thank you very much, Orich. It's been a wonderful week with you. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Thank you.